So, what happens when one of the world's biggest YouTubers, a multi-million-dollar crypto mystery, and a detective who waited 2 whole years to spring his trap all collide? Well, you're about to find out how one single, forgotten tweet accidentally blew the lid off a series of alleged crypto scams. Let's get into it.
You know, the craziest part about this whole thing is that for years, this entire story was a secret, but it was hiding right out in the open. Every piece of the puzzle, the tweets, the transactions, the timing, it was all public. It's just that no one had put it all together. Well, until now.
And this right here is the tweet that brought the whole house of cards down. In 2023, after being silent for ages, KSI decides to log back into his old crypto Twitter account and just posts this one simple question. He had no idea what he was about to unleash. That one seemingly innocent action was like a key turning in a lock that he'd forgotten even existed. It woke up a dormant account and in the process set off a tripwire that an online crypto investigator had been patiently waiting for years.
So how in the world does a simple question lead to accusations of a full-blown pump and dump scheme? It all kicks off with this guy zachXBT, a pretty well-known on-chain investigator. The second he saw KSI's tweet pop up, he knew his moment had finally arrived.
In Zach, he didn't waste a second. He immediately hit reply with this absolute bombshell allegation he'd been sitting on. He directly connected a specific tweet from KSI about a crypto token to a massive sell-off from a wallet he claimed belonged to KSI. And just like that, the game was on.
Okay, so the heart of Zach's very first accusation really boils down to one simple thing, a massive contradiction. It's all about what KSI was telling his millions of followers versus what his crypto wallet was actually doing in the background. Let's look at the evidence. Back in March 2022, KSI tweets this out. Now, if you're not in the crypto world, HODL gang is basically slang for hold on for dear life. It's a signal to everyone that you have faith in a project for the long haul and you are absolutely not selling. It's a statement of confidence. But here's the kicker. According to zachXBT's analysis of the blockchain, in the days immediately following that HODL gang tweet, the wallet he identified as KSI's went and sold a massive $850,000 worth of the exact token he just publicly promised to hold. And this pattern, of saying you're bullish and getting everyone excited while secretly selling in the background, well, it has a name. It's the textbook definition of a pump and dump scheme. You pump up the hype, and then you dump your coins on the very people who believed you. And you might be wondering, did his tweets even matter? Oh yeah, they mattered. Just look at this chart of the trading volume for XCAD. On the exact days KSI was tweeting, you can see the volume just explodes by millions of dollars. His followers were clearly listening and buying in, right at the same time he was apparently selling out. All right, so KSI is faced with this pretty damning evidence. He didn't deny the wallet was his, and he didn't deny selling the tokens. Nope, instead, he came forward with an explanation. So let's hear his side of the story. KSI's claim was that this wasn't some evil plan. His story is that he sold his XCAD because he wanted to chase an even bigger, faster profit on the now infamous Luna token. The goal, he said, was to use those winnings to buy back even more XCAD. So in his version of events, it wasn't a scheme to betray anyone. It was just a really bad trade that ended up costing him a ton of money. Now, if this was just a one-time thing, maybe you could buy that story. But the thing is, the investigator, zachXBT, he wasn't finished. Not even close. He was about to reveal that the XCAD situation, that was just one piece of a much bigger and more troubling puzzle. Let's open up case file number 2, the ERN token. A year earlier, in March 2021, KSI tweets that he's very bullish on it. And what did his wallet do? You guessed it. Within 24 hours, it sold over $348,000 worth of ERN. And it doesn't stop there. In May of 2021, he tweeted that another token was about to explode. And literally moments later, his wallet sold $25,000 worth. Yeah, it's a smaller amount, but it shows the exact same pattern of behavior. I mean, when you lay it all out like this, side by side, the core of the whole allegation becomes incredibly clear. On one side, you have his public statements, HODL gang, very bullish, about to explode. And on the other, you have what his wallet was actually doing, selling, selling, and selling. The difference is just stark. So, with this clear pattern laid out, what could KSI possibly say? What was his grand defense for all of this? Well, it wasn't about complicated trading strategies anymore. His explanation got a whole lot simpler. Basically, his entire defense boiled down to this: I was just really, really bad at this. He claimed he had zero malicious intent, he was just a newbie who got swept up in the excitement, chased the hype like everyone else, and in the end, lost a ton of money. His argument was, hey, if this was some master plan, wouldn't I have actually made a profit? But then he gives an explanation that is honestly one of the most bizarre defenses I've ever heard. He claimed he felt like the market itself was working against him, that every time he tweeted something positive, the price would tank. So, in this weird attempt to outsmart the entire crypto market, he decided to start tweeting the exact opposite of what he was actually doing. And he still lost.
And so, that leaves us with two completely different stories, two completely different versions of KSI. The evidence clearly shows a pattern of saying one thing and doing another. But the real question is, what was the intent behind it all?
So, what do you think? Which one is it? Was KSI a malicious mastermind, knowingly using his massive audience to pump up coins just so he could dump them for a profit? Or was he just a totally clueless investor who got in way over his head, lost millions, and made a series of panicked, terrible decisions that just so happened to look exactly like a pump and dump?
Ultimately, you're the one who has to decide which story makes more sense. But the wildest part, the ultimate irony in all of this, is that for 2 years, this was all buried history. No one knew. And it would have stayed that way if he just hadn't logged back in to ask, does this still work?